Well, hello everyone. This is Carrie Beck with How to Homeschool My Child, and I'm back today. This is our week for How to Homeschool My Child to share some ideas, give you some freebies, have a giveaway, and be able to share some of our resources that might be a good fit for you. So, it is St. Patrick's Day. Are you wearing green? Leave a comment and tell me if you're wearing green or if you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day. I am wearing green. You can see it. It's on this shirt. I'm a fourth Irish, half Scotch Irish, so I sort of need to fulfill my Irish whatever. We're going to talk a little bit, let me find my notes, about St. Patrick's Day and what we could be doing to inspire a love of learning. I will be sharing some links in the comments as we go as well. For those of you that don't know me, my kids are all grown and out of the house, so I am sharing my failures and I'm sharing the things that work. So as you join us, let us know if you're wearing green. It is St. Patrick's Day. These are my kids. They're all older. We have some grandkids as well. I've introduced them in the past, but I'll just show those pictures just so you know. Some kids love learning, or my kids love learning at times, but not always. I will just be super honest with you. My kids did not always love learning. So sometimes I had to go search for ways to encourage them to love learning as well. And so let's talk about St. Patrick's Day and how you could encourage a love of learning with St. Patrick's Day. Who was St. Patrick? He was not Irish, in case you didn't know. St. Patrick was not Irish. He actually was from England, and he was taken over, I believe, as a slave, and then he escaped, and then he wanted to go back, and he became a missionary to Ireland, actually. And so you could actually today find probably some YouTube videos. I'm going to be sharing some in my Facebook group, facebook.com/group/How to Homeschool My Child, and you will be getting some videos on the story of St. Patrick's Day that are on a child level, on a kid level, so that you can do that as well. As you join me, tell me if you're wearing green today. Leave a comment and tell me that. Another thing you could do as you learn more about St. Patrick is to write a paragraph about what you discover. I know that in my holiday writing lessons, our March writing lesson is learning about St. Patrick's. And I think there's 2 sources, and then you take the information that is interesting to your child, and then you write a paragraph about that as well. Another thing, I meant to grab my hymnal. There is a song, and I really don't know if St. Patrick wrote it or if it was written about him, but it's called St. Patrick's Breastplate. It was a hymn I just loved. I learned about it. We started singing it in Idaho when Steve was in seminary, so that was about 15 years ago. And so one thing you could do is sing it every day for a week, and then use St. Patrick's breastplate hymn as copy work for your children. And so they begin to learn about this man, and if they like to sing, I mean, my kids love learning things when it had to do with songs. So that would be another way that you could encourage a love of learning with St. Patrick's Day. Another thing is you could use notebooking. If you're not familiar with notebooking, it takes all the rote routine things out of school. We give them a multiple choice test, or we give them a textbook and we say, answer these questions. Notebooking allows your children to write down what they discover and learn. And I actually have some free notebooking pages that I'm going to offer you right now. Let me see if I can get to that link. Where is it? Okay. These are some free notebooking pages that you can actually grab today, and they are all about St. Patrick's Day. I'm not really good at always. Okay, so there's the link to the free notebooking pages. So use notebooking as a way to encourage your kids to love learning. Another thing, okay, most of you have gotten this, but if you're new here, you maybe haven't gotten my Lucky Charms graph. We actually did this with my grandkids on Friday. I'll be posting some pictures of their graph. Actually, I think there are some already on my Facebook page. But the Lucky Charms graph is a fun way for your kids to learn about math, to learn about graphing. There's actually a whole St. Patrick's Day activity guide on there as well. Let's see if I can get back to Facebook. So let's put that. There are lots of ideas in that guide that would help you tie it into, well, let's take the graph. You take the marshmallows out. I left all the Lucky Charms at my granddaughter's, but you take them out, and here, I'll just show you. And then we have a graph. And so what you're going to do is for each balloon marshmallow, you put it in a box. For each hat, marshmallow and Lucky Charms, and so on and so forth. Then you can put the total down at the bottom. Then they can color and make a bar graph. My granddaughter didn't color. She just colored the top one, and then we connected it like a line graph. Unfortunately, yes, I left all those at their house. There is one mistake. They've changed the marshmallows and Lucky Charms. So right here where there used to be a pot of gold, now there's a unicorn. Don't ask me why. But anyway, this is a fun way, plus the kids get to eat. In the activity guide, you will also find some worksheets. So yeah, there are a little bit worksheets, but it's about, do you have more balloons or hearts? Or how many more hearts do you have than balloons? So they use the information in this graph for a bunch of questions. The other one is a greater than or less than. That was a little difficult for our kindergartner just because she hadn't done that. But you can teach your kids greater than and less than concepts using Lucky Charms marshmallow. Now, how fun is that? So there's another way that we can inspire love of learning. I have many freebies that I want to give you that you could just go check out right now. And because every Friday I post Friday freebies, and last Friday it was all about St. Patrick's Day. So there's some more things. Now, that's St. Patrick's Day. So you can take a holiday and turn it into a love of learning experience. Pick one that your kids like. I talked about Valentine's last month. Next Monday, I will be back talking about Easter and actually demonstrating some things, such as this Easter garden. But we will be talking about things you can do in homeschooling. But before I leave, I want to leave you with a bonus idea, not just St. Patrick's Day, but we use games to encourage a love of learning. And my kids didn't always even realize that they were love of learning games. Okay, this one even has Gentry's name on it. It's authors. And so you can play regular card games, but you can also, in order to trade a card or whatever, maybe you have to tell something. Here is the Virginians. He wrote that. And then we have another one, Charles Dickens, and there's three of them, the Pickwick Papers, David Copperfield, Oliver Twist. And so there are some ideas of how you can use it in the directions. So there's one game that you could actually use if you want to have your kids learn about authors. Maybe you're studying Greek mythology. This is another game that you could play with Greek mythology. Let's see if I can pull it out. So here's the three, and they're going to learn about, this is Minotaur, Theseus kills Minotaur, and then you learn a little bit about that on the card. There are pronunciations, and then there are ways that you can play this. It is like a Go Fish game, but you're using mythology to be able to play your game as well. Now, I've told the story that my son did not like fine arts. When we pulled into the Fine Arts Museum in Houston, he was about 7 years old, and he went, "Oh no, not this museum." And he said, "I did." And so he didn't like it. There was a Star Wars exhibit next to the Monet exhibit, so he was happy in the end. But let's fast forward, I don't know, about a few years. We were at a show in Indianapolis. We were on our way home, and we stopped in Nashville, and we stopped at the Parthenon, and I bought this game, the Fine Art game. So he didn't like fine art, but let me tell you, he learned everything there was about the art pieces in here. Why? Because he's competitive, and he wanted to win. And so he would do whatever it took to learn about every art piece in here because he wanted to win. I took that competitive nature and turned that into a lot of learning situations. Let me just show you a few others. This is another card game called Art Deck that you could use. This is more modern art. Then we have Made for Trade. This is early American life. So if your kids are into the colonial times, my girls loved this game. You can tell we played it a lot. It's got some rips here, but you are going to go around, and you've got a colony in a town and do all sorts of things there, and you're living back in the colonial times. And then the last, I have many that I can show you, but this is all we're going to show for now. Since we're doing St. Patrick's Day, he's a little before the medieval ages. He's around 700, I believe. But I just had thought, well, I got to find something that's closer to St. Patrick's Day. It's not a St. Patrick's Day game, although now that I'm thinking about it, I probably need to create one. We have Treason in the Tower. And so it is a game of daring deeds and evil schemes. And you're going to be in this medieval tower, and you have kings and crowns and all sorts of things. Actually, I believe it's set in Henry VIII's time, because you've got Anne Boleyn here. And so this looks pretty much like the tower that is in London, because we got to go visit it. And if I look at it correctly, you've got the water here, and you enter here, and all sorts of things. And unfortunately, this was sort of the chopping block. But this would be a game that you could really get your kids into the Middle Ages. If they're into knights and castles, that's a great one. I actually do have a book called Teaching Kids with Easy to Use Games, and I will put the link to that down here. I forgot about including that, and so that would be one other way that you could encourage. That book actually has a lot of make your own games. Some of them are like tic-tac-toe that you can just sort of do off the cuff. Many of them are review games that you can use with any subject area whatsoever. And then I have a whole list with links to other games that you can actually use, and games that our kids actually enjoy. Before I close, I do want to just make a comment, and that is, in our store, we have an entire Love of Learning course. It's a 6-week course, and it goes through more than just holidays and games. I think there's about 17 strategies. It also goes through the tools of learning, 7 tools of learning. And so you would be able to get that as well. And so I'm going to put the link to our store here in the comments, and you can go and check that out and see if that would be a good fit. If you need encouragement on how to encourage a love of learning, that would be one place to start. Anyway, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. My name is Carrie Beck with How to Homeschool My Child. Y'all have a great day.